You guys come on over. Come on. Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Thanks. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today. We have a couple announcements that we need to make, but let me first welcome our guests. We are truly honored and appreciative that the Attorney General of the United States of America, Attorney General Eric Holder, is with us today. Can we please give him a great Philadelphia welcome? And we're joined by a couple great members of our Philadelphia Congressional delegation, Congressman Chaka Fattah and Congressman Bob Brady. Please recognize them also. And right on cue, Congresswoman Allison Swartz. Congresswoman, thank you very, very much. Mayor of the City of Chester, Mayor John Linder, is here with us. Mayor Linder, thank you very, very much. Mr. Bernard Melekian, who is the Director of the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services. Director, thank you for being here as well. Deputy Mayor for Public Safety and the Chief of Staff, Everett Gillison, and the Deputy Mayor for Administration and Coordination, our Managing Director, Rich Negrin. Both are here with us as well. Our Director of Federal Affairs, Terry Gillen, thank you for being here with us this afternoon, Terry. And Police Commissioner Charles Ramsey, Director of Public Safety Mike Resnick, and Nola Joyce, the Deputy Police Commissioner, and all these fine officers behind us. Please recognize all of them as well. Behind us, of course, you see some of the city's finest. On Friday, I was privileged to attend the graduation of the city's 360th police graduating class from our police academy. They immediately began their duties on foot patrol on our city streets. Boots on the ground are part of the answer of great policing and safety here in Philadelphia. Police officers are leaders in the communities in which they serve. They're a resource for our residents, they're a helping hand in the neighborhood, and a calm presence on any block in our city. And if community policing is done right, you can unite communities, take ownership of their blocks. Let me also mention that our district attorney is here with us. Seth Williams, thank you, sir. And our U.S. Attorney, Zane Meminger, as well. One brief local news update very quickly. Last week, we experienced a tragic act of vandalism that destroyed one of our city's safe places, a playground. But through great police work, I'm here to let you know this afternoon that we have apprehended a suspect who will be charged with arson and other offenses. We'll be pleased after today's press conference to give you more details in that particular case, but that got wrapped up actually on Friday. The arrest was made by our dedicated detectives and officers who are public servants working to improve the quality of life in our city. And I want to thank them for their efforts to bring justice to the community in South Philadelphia and all the children who like to play there. Our top priority has been the continued reduction of violent crime in our city. Every initiative, every program, every goal, every activity keeps that in mind each and every day in our city. In 2009, Philadelphia received a COPS grant to add 50 new officers to our police force. These officers have made a big difference in the communities in which they serve, especially given the financial strain on this city and many other cities all across America in the aftermath of the Great Recession. This funding helped our city to continue the work that we had already begun and to increase the safety for all Philadelphians. As President of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, I will continue to work with our federal partners, our President, President Barack Obama, and the members of Congress who get it, to restore full funding to the COPS program, and with our Police Commissioner, Charles Ramsey, who's also President of the Major City Chiefs Organization and also President of the Police Executive Research Forum, Philadelphia is strategically placed to push this debate at the national level. Over the past year, I've worked with many other mayors to encourage the COPS office to try to relax some of the restrictions on the program so that more cities and counties could apply and receive funding for critically needed officers at this time. Congress, the members of our congressional delegation, they do get it, they do understand it. I don't have to call them about these issues, but some other members need to understand that public safety is a top priority for cities all across America, and the COPS grants give our cities the tools they need to keep our citizens safe. The U.S. Conference of Mayors has been a strong supporter of the COPS program and has a strong partnership with the U.S. Department of Justice to make public safety in our cities a top priority. Our Cities United initiative, which is a partnership with the U.S. Conference of Mayors, the National League of Cities, and Casey Family Programs, represents more than 20 mayors who are putting an increased focus on violence that affects African American males disproportionately all across America and takes a toll on our cities. I look forward to continuing and enhancing its partnership with the Department of Justice on these critical issues facing Philadelphia and many other cities across America. Mayors such as New Orleans Mayor Mitch Landrieu, we're partnering because we understand that violence affects not just the individuals, not just the families, not just the victims, but public safety in general, education, health, economic competitiveness, and the quality of life in our cities. And so I want to thank the Attorney General, the COPS Office, our Congressional delegation, the Department of Justice, for investing in Philadelphia and our police department and in departments all across America. And so it's my pleasure now to introduce the Director of the COPS Office, Director Melekian.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Mayor Nutter and Chief Ramsey, for hosting us today. The announcement of our grant is news that we love to share, particularly with partners like Philadelphia. My name is Bernard Melekian. I am the Director of the Department of Justice Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, known by most as the COPS Office. It has been my privilege to work with the Mayor and with Chief Ramsey on a number of occasions over the years. The COPS Office has struggled, like many agencies have, to accommodate the new economic reality. And very often we have turned to Philadelphia and its leadership for some insight in how we can maximize the impact of federal grant dollars to help advance public safety through community policing. I'd also like to acknowledge the Mayor of Chester, John Linder. The Strong Cities, Strong Communities initiative has been a wonderful example of collaboration and progressive thinking, and the work undertaken by the City of Chester is helping to create a positive model that will impact municipalities throughout the country. Before I introduce our Attorney General, I want to give you a snapshot of the COPS Office and the assistance it provides. Our mission at the office is to advance public safety through community policing. We support that mission through the development of partnerships like the one before you today, and through the promotion of better problem-solving strategies. We also accomplish that mission through the awarding of our federal grants. Since 1994, the COPS Office has delivered over $12 billion to cities, counties, and tribal communities, funds that have been applied to add officers to the street, advance crime-fighting technologies, enhance school safety, combat methamphetamine and other dangerous drugs, and to target child predators. Approximately 124,000 law enforcement positions have been funded, with over 7,000 in the last 3 years. And I'd like to emphasize those most recent hiring awards because they have been delivered in a period where cities have had to make bigger cuts to public safety than ever before. Both fiscal need and fiscal responsibility factor into the selection of grantees, along with local crime rates, and most importantly, a city's strategic community policing strategy for lowering those crime rates. It's not just about delivering money. It's about providing valuable resources to agencies with legitimate needs and doable strategies. To highlight that process and to acknowledge this year's grantees, it is my honor to introduce Attorney General Eric Holder. Attorney General Holder has been a strong proponent of community policing, so much so that he directed a great deal of his attention and hard work into helping shape this office over 18 years ago. His support of law enforcement is sincere and unwavering, and it is my privilege to introduce Attorney General Eric Holder.
Thank you. 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 I might just stay in Philadelphia. Well, thank you, Barney, for that wonderful introduction, and good afternoon to everyone. I'm very pleased to be here in Philadelphia and proud to join with so many critical partners, including Mayor Nutter, Commissioner Ramsey, who is still, I consider a native son. Where are you? There you go. Yeah, he's still my chief from Washington, D.C. And three of the best members of Congress, Congressman Brady, Congressman Fattah, and Congressman Schwartz. There are a lot of people in Washington who get awfully concerned about things that at the end of the day aren't really important to the American people. These are three people who have not lost sight of what matters, whether it's jobs, public safety, or the other things that on a day-to-day basis affect the quality of life of the people of this country. You all are very lucky to have them in your congressional delegation. And I should also add in that regard that Senator Casey is somebody who has been a real player in this effort as we have tried to shape the anti-crime programs that I think are proving to be successful all around the country. But I'm here today to announce the recipients of the fiscal year 2012 COPS Hiring Program Grant Awards. These critical investments represent the Justice Department's latest effort to support and to help strengthen our nation's law enforcement community. And they reflect our understanding that in this time of growing demands and also of limited budgets, the work of police departments nationwide has never been more important or more difficult. And in many ways, the people who are most important and who are standing before you right now are the people, as Mayor Nutter said, who are behind me, the people in uniform, who on a day-to-day basis put their lives on the line to protect the lives of others. They deserve a special thanks, a special degree of gratitude that too frequently they do not receive. And so I think we should all join hands in thanking them. It really is a thin blue line that separates us from chaos and the safety that all Americans deserve. That's why today's Department of Justice and the entire Obama administration are committed to making sure that our law enforcement partners have the tools, the resources, and the capabilities that they need and that they deserve. As part of this commitment, I'm pleased to announce that more than 220 cities and counties, including the city of Philadelphia, will receive grant awards totaling over $111 million from the Department of Justice through the 2012 COPS hiring program. Now, these grants will save or create jobs for approximately 800 law enforcement officers in cities and counties from Cumberland, Maine, to New Orleans, Louisiana, to Chicago, Illinois, from Tacoma, Washington, to Toledo, Ohio, as well as to Somersville, West Virginia. In total, nearly 200 law enforcement officers will be saved from layoffs, and more than 600 new law enforcement officers will be hired. Importantly, this year, each of these new hires will be military veterans who have served at least 180 days in our armed forces since September the 11th of 2001. This means that thanks to the 2012 COPS hiring program and this administration's commitment to providing our veterans with meaningful employment opportunities, more than 600 women and men who have courageously defended our liberty abroad will have the opportunity to continue serving our country here at home as local and state law enforcement officers. It is especially fitting to speak of liberty here in Philadelphia, which, to help build on this city's model community policing efforts, will be receiving more than $3 million to hire 25 military veterans to serve as law enforcement officers. I'm also pleased to report that an additional $5.2 million will be awarded to your neighbors in Pittsburgh, Chester, and Aliquippa, and across the river in Trenton as well. Now, these awards are coming at a critical time. Last year, thousands of officers were laid off, and due to budget shortfalls, thousands of positions could not be filled. In total, about 85% of all law enforcement agencies reported cuts. However, despite these really difficult circumstances, hardworking public servants like those here in Philadelphia have found ways to accomplish more with less, to stretch every precious taxpayer dollar, to make meaningful, measurable progress in improving public safety, and to prove that the power of community policing methods works. Now, with this year's COPS grants, this work will be expanded and it will be strengthened. And as a result, a range of priority efforts, especially those aimed at protecting our children and young people from violence and other threats, will be taken to a new level. This year's incorporation of military veterans is an especially exciting and I think promising step forward. Communities nationwide will benefit from the experience and the expertise that these veterans will bring to their new roles in law enforcement. And those who courageously serve our country overseas will know that their fellow citizens and leaders across the Obama administration are committed to taking care of them when they come home. We look forward to welcoming these new additions to our nation's law enforcement community and to building on the partnerships and record of success that we've established here in Philadelphia and beyond. Again, I want to thank Mayor Nutter for his hospitality, but more importantly, I want to thank him for his vision. We've had conversations over the past few months to talk about the issues that are of particular concern here in Philadelphia, and we are committed as part of the Obama administration, and me personally as Attorney General, to work with the mayor and with his team to make sure that we make a measurable difference in the lives of people here in Philadelphia. This is my promise to the city that I love so much. We look forward to working with you, Mayor, and with you, Commissioner Ramsey, with the Congress people I've just talked about, and with your colleagues and counterparts across the country to strengthen our communities and to support those who keep us safe. We will not rest until we make sure that every city, every community in this nation is as safe as it possibly can be. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm going to now ask Congressman Fattah to make some remarks. Congressman?
I want to welcome the extraordinary public servant who is our nation's Attorney General to Philadelphia. And notwithstanding anything else, I want to make it clear that I stand with the Attorney General. And I believe that the majority of the people in our country appreciate the great work that he has done. The crime rate has went down each and every year that he has served. He's focused on the important issues. Even today, a nationwide sweep that has rounded up bad actors in communities all across the country. And his announcement today on the COPS grant is just part and parcel of a whole range of efforts, from the violence against women to the second chance programs to help ex-offenders, but real help to mayors like our own, Mayor Nutter, in terms of putting cops on the beat, so that when people unfortunately have the responsibility to dial 911, that there's actually some help on the other side and available to them in their time of need. So the mayor, who's now the president of the U.S. Conference of Mayors, this is an appropriate place to make an announcement, but this is not a Philadelphia only announcement. It's across the breadth and width of the country. I want to thank the staff at the Department of Justice for their work. I would make note that this is a program that's had a lot of controversy, made-up controversy from others in the Congress who say that we shouldn't be involved as a federal government in local police enhancements, that this somehow is a local responsibility. Well, I didn't hear any of them saying this when we spent billions on training and hiring police in Iraq over the last decade, that it was fine to use federal tax dollars for that. Well, I think it's even more appropriate to help mayors like Mayor Nutter and others similarly situated across our country. I want to thank you for this grant, and I know as we go forward in fighting for additional appropriations that there'll be other grants in the future, other opportunities for us to put more cops on the beat, and I think for us to take some who've come home from Iraq and give them an opportunity to do what they signed up to do in the first place, which is to protect our country, do it right here on our streets. Thank you very much, Mr. Attorney General.
Congressman Brady.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also like to recognize, Mr. Mayor, my councilman and your councilman, Councilman Majority Leader Curtis Jones. Yeah, he's back there. Sorry. You know, I met Attorney General Holder around 3 or 4 years ago when he was part of the Brady Bunch. We were dealing with a primary, and then I also had the honor of dealing with him on the vice presidential select. And a finer, classier, honest person we will never meet. I was thrilled and actually jumped up when he was named Attorney General. And you have not disappointed me or this country for your service, and I do appreciate that. We all do appreciate that. And as my colleague said, I am honored also to be able to stand with you today and stand with you all through this week. No matter what happens, we're there for you. We appreciate you. Thank you, and you're always welcome back into this city, always back in the city of Philadelphia. Mr. Mayor, congratulations to you, but I hope that don't mean that you're going to be spending a lot of time away, because we do need you here.
I'll be right
Congratulations to you. You got a phone? Use your phone. Don't use your body. Absolutely. Need you here. It's only befitting and right that these men and women in uniform got our back, because 24/7 they got our back. It's only befitting they got our back again today. Nobody knows, nobody out here would know what that means better than I do, unless your mom or dad is a member of a law enforcement. My father was a police officer. Nobody here, when you leave your house, when your family says goodbye, do they think they may not see you again? Every one of them, when they leave their house, they give their family, the loved ones, a kiss goodbye, and never know whether they may be coming back. So we can't stand up and support them who support us, who stand by us 24/7, who are protecting my family right now, protecting your family right now, protecting every one of us. If we can't stand and give them what they need, giving a great commissioner, Commissioner Ramsey, giving a great mayor, Mayor Linda. I'm fortunate I served 2 mayors. Mayor's rule, I know that. I served 2 mayors. And Mayor Linda out of Chester, to give them what they need to protect their citizens. You know, real quickly, around 7, 8 days ago, my wife was home alone, and 3 men with hoods and surgical masks tried to get into my house. So what she did right away was, my little 12-pound attack dog Pekingese and my 5'2" wife scared them away. And she banged on the window and she called 911. Not that she was upset and scared. She didn't say, this is Debbie Brady, Congressman Brady's wife. She said, there are 3 men trying to break into my house. Within 1 minute, they were there. Now, I appreciate you, and I will continue to appreciate the job that you do. We'll continue to support in any way, shape, or form to give you the tools, whether it be more manpower, more equipment, whatever we have to do to make sure that you are still there to protect the other citizens of the United States of America and the citizens, great citizens of the city of Philadelphia and Chester. So again, thank you for the job you do. Attorney General, thank you for being here. Again, you're welcome here anytime. Thank you, and God bless for you all that you do. Thank you.
And Congresswoman Schwartz. Congresswoman.
All right, thank you. And I'm very proud to also both be here and to add my words of congratulations to the city once again for participating and winning a competitive grant from, this time, the COPS program. I think, and to welcome, of course, Eric Holder here. It shows how tough it is in Washington on a whole bunch of us. But I think what the Attorney General's gone through in the last few weeks and months just demonstrates that. And it is at a time when we ought to be focusing on jobs and public safety and the future of this nation. To keep looking backwards is not the place to be, particularly when it's unnecessary. So we're proud to have you here, and you're always welcome. So I just want to add my, again, congratulations, and just two things I will say. Many of the police officers who protect us every day in this city live in my district. I'm really proud of that. I see them frequently. We all rely on them, whether we're members of Congress, their attentiveness to us. After Gabby Gifford's shooting, I remember how attentive they've been, or whether the incident that happened at Congressman Brady's home just a week ago. Every one of us deserve to live in safety and security in the city. and in communities across this country. And the COPS program, which has been so critical in Philadelphia to really be able to make sure that the police officers feel a part of, are a part of our communities, are respected by our communities, are known by our communities, and are work in partnership with our communities, has been just enormously powerful here in Philadelphia and across this country. So that's important to us. And secondly, as we're bringing more and more of our veterans home, first from Iraq and now from Afghanistan, they bring real skills and experience and real challenges. And one of the things that we know we can do for them is to make sure that they get jobs here at home in our civilian workforce, putting their, I hope I didn't touch anything, but anyway, putting their skills to work for us in our communities here at home, given that they have a higher rate of unemployment than the general population, about 12%. So as we look to grow our economy, security and safety is a part of making sure that we want to live here, work here, and grow here. So to safety and security, to our fine police officers, to our leadership at the city level, yet again, this is really a very fine moment, not only for our men in blue, but for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks. And our last speaker is Police Commissioner Ramsey. Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And just very, very briefly, let me thank two people in particular, some of the finest law enforcement professionals I've ever had the honor of knowing over the years. First, Bernard Melekian, who I've known since his days as Chief of Police in Pasadena, California. Our work together in the Police Executive Research Forum and now in COPS office. No one works harder to give us what we need in law enforcement than Barney, believe me. And of course, the Attorney General of the United States, Eric Holder, who I've had the honor of knowing from my days in Washington, D.C. He was a U.S. Attorney in Washington, a Deputy Attorney General, and now, of course, as the Attorney General of the United States. He's worked very, very hard over the years for all of us in law enforcement. And Mr. Attorney General, you have not only my undying and unwavering support, you have it from police chiefs across this country. And you need to know that we do appreciate everything you've done, even if there are some people that don't appear to really appreciate everything that you've done for us. And we'll continue to stand solidly behind you. I also want to thank these folks you see around the room in blue, the men and women of the Philadelphia Police Department, and the men and women of law enforcement across this great country that know more than I do or anybody else in this room just how bad it is in some areas of our cities and how desperately we need support, how desperately we need this infusion of resources. I don't have to tell them that, you know, they've been up against it for a period of time now, and relief is coming. It's on the way. So we really all appreciate it. The Deputy Commissioner Kevin Bethel in the back there, who runs the southern part of our city, has seen more than a share of crime and violence in our city. We're all doing all we can, but we do need the help. We do need the support. We really appreciate it. And this is really going to mean an awful lot to us because it does involve our veterans, the men and women who have served this country faithfully, giving them an opportunity to now serve in law enforcement and continue to help keep our cities and our country safe and secure. So thank you for everything that all of you have done. We really do appreciate it. God bless. Thanks.
So with that, we want to say thank you all for being here this afternoon. Attorney General Holder, again, thank you for being here in Philadelphia. And if you want to say something, you can say something.
One more thing. I guess, you know, I think about my remarks, and I was just talking to Barney. The three cities that receive the greatest number of police officers are Chicago, Los Angeles, and Philadelphia. And the city... And the reason that these cities were chosen is because they were the ones who had the best plans. They were the ones who, as I said before, had the vision of Mayor Nutter and the people working with him to figure out the ways in which they could use these resources, we think, in the best ways possible. And so it is, you know, with a great deal of pride, I should have included that in my prepared remarks, but to say that this city and its leadership really stands out. And it was for that reason that you all are receiving the greatest number of police officers.
Thank you so much.
And let me, before he leaves, acknowledge that part of that best planning, the majority leader who also chairs the Public Safety Committee on the City Council. We want to thank Councilman Jones for his great leadership.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Attorney General, I know you need to get back to Washington, D.C. Again, travel safely. We are excited to have you here. Look forward to your return. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys have questions about the grant, I'll be glad to answer. Or not. Steve? Sure. "25 officers, and this particular round of grant requires that they all have previous military service, at least 180 days since September 11th, 2001. We anticipate that we'll be able to put these officers in the academy sometime in the fall. We'll do our best to have them all at one time, yes. You know, we've made a commitment to certain levels of hiring in the course of the next fiscal year, upwards of 400 officers to be hired from our earlier announcement earlier this year through the end of next fiscal year. We're trying to hire about 400 police officers. So this COPS grant helps us with about 25.
To be clear, sorry, it may have been said,
Excuse me.
how much money exactly did Philly get for this grant?
Say that one more time, Jim.
How much money exactly did Philly get for this grant?
It's a little over $3 million, $3.1 million. That covers 75% of the cost of the officers. There's a 25% match required by the city.
And when did the city apply for the grant?
When?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been a regular applicant.
I do know that both
recently.
Police Commissioner Ramsey and the mayor came down and lobbied last year while we were debating the FY12 budget to lobby that we include money for the COPS program, which originally wasn't included in the Republican proposal before the House.
Yeah. Actually happened in March, but we've been working on this for over a year.
Mayor, the Attorney General singled out, obviously, Philadelphia, Chicago, and L.A. What was the case, in your view, that Philadelphia made that resulted in the award?
I think the Attorney General said it best. He said we had a good plan. It doesn't get any better than that.
Best plan.
Yeah, we had a great plan. We have a great team up here. We put together a great application, as I mentioned. We've also been pushing and fighting for enhanced COPS program for some time, not just for Philadelphia, but certainly through the U.S. Conference of Mayors. We've been strong supporters of the COPS program in general, but we made a particularly strong case here in Philadelphia. The community-oriented policing, the officers on the beat, the things that Police Commissioner Ramsey and his team have been doing, and then I think working with our congressional delegation has been very, very helpful in this process as well.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
It's not bad to have a member, the senior member of the Appropriations Committee in Washington either.
That does help. Anything else?
Give you your props.
Absolutely.
Do these 25 police, are they in addition to the 400 that you committed to? Does the money helps you get to
The money helps with the overall 400. Yeah. I mean, our commitment is that we're seeking to have an average annual sworn strength of 6,500 officers every year for the next 5 years. That's why we're making a very large investment in the police department. This upcoming fiscal year, we're looking, as I mentioned, to hire 400 police officers between now and the end of the next fiscal year. You know that we lose to retirement about 15 to 18 officers a year, and so our sworn strength was down in about the 6,300 range, so we have to hire more just to cover the anticipated retirements to get up to that sworn strength and then stay there. Yes,
I think you may have just answered it. If your goal is 65, you have 63 now, is that what you're saying?
a little over 6,300. Yeah. And you know that we graduated 60 officers back in March, another 27 on Friday, and we have another relatively small class coming out next month. Thanks a lot.